about Gervonta St. David in his corner celebrating, bro. Let's talk a little bit about the fight. He knocks out Gamboa in 12 rounds. His goal was to top Terence Crawford of knocking out Gamboa in the 9th round. And he damn near go all 12 with him. And remember, Gamboa is 40 years old. He was like 32 when he fought Terence Crawford. But let's talk a little bit about the fight. Appreciate everybody for checking in. One time for the one time. Hit the subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video. It's the best way to donate to the channel. And early on, man, you know, Tank left hand was on point. He just wasn't following up was the problem I had. And I don't know if him not following up had to do with Gamboa using a lot of different angles and just being veteran savvy and able to smother Tank and you know, I don't know what it was. You know, Gervonta couldn't follow up with, you know, 2 or 3, 4 shots. He was looking for one shot and out of here. And he got to remember, this ain't one of the massive jumps in boxing, 30 to 35, not 40, 47. That's one of the harder jumps to make because you still that's the last weight class you can wear 8-ounce gloves in. But still, I think today Tank found out, and I think he found out in the right fight, and I think it's a good, looking at hindsight, this was the right fight for them. Gamboa, when he signed a 2-fight deal with PBC, he was already promised a Gervonta Tank Davis rematch. I mean, a fight in his contract. So that's why Tank had to fight Gamboa regardless. All right. And this was the right fight. One of the good things about them moving him kind of slow is because it's the right fight for him to move up. This is why you take testers when you move up. You take soft touches. Because he found out that he's not going to be able to knock everybody out at 35 with one punch. You know what I'm saying? He landed that uppercut a few times tonight. Gamboa didn't see it coming. But it took like 7 or 8 of them to knock him out with one shot. You know, Gamboa was a guy who didn't have no stank on his punches. No steam, no velocity. His legs wasn't there, but he was all hard tonight. He had a point to prove. And I think he was trying to go 12. He didn't have enough pop on his punches. You know, a Tank kept landing 1 or 2 shots to the body, 1 big shot to the head, and he would either smother his work or Gamboa would smother him. Tank had the speed, the age advantage, the power advantage. But the one thing Gamboa had was the experience advantage. You know what I'm saying? And for Gervonta, he couldn't put, at no point in this fight did he put 3 or 4 or 5 shots together because this fight would have been over with. Even when he knocked him down 1 shot 3 times in the fight and the last one in the 12th, it just wasn't enough. And now he got to know that it's another level to, you know, using your power. Everybody not going to be knocking one guy out with 1 shot. It's very, very few. It's very, very few fighters throughout history that can move up in weight class and knock guys out with 1 punch. You know, Julian Jackson was one of those guys, and you see Wilder in the heavyweight division knocking guys out with 1 punch, but eventually you're going to have to put 3 or 4 shots together to get some guys out of there. Sometimes you might hit a guy with 2 or 3 good shots to the body, and then later on your power take control. So Tank got to really gauge how his power is at lightweight. And don't be surprised if they don't make him squeeze back down. I heard that him and Leo is going to fight for 30. He's going to try to recapture his Super WBA belt at 30. But credit to Gamboa. You know, the old fighters been showing up all this year. You know, these old fighters been showing these young dudes how to get it done. And this is what happened when you don't step up the right way. This is what happened when you fight once or twice a year. And this year he fought 3. And you don't stay sharp in between camp. This is going to be a great learning experience for Tank. You know, and once again, you got to see the face on Leonard Ellerby's face when he finally knocked him out. He looked disappointed at Tank. This was set up for Tank to go 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 rounds at the most, and he didn't do it. It's something that I wouldn't be proud of. It's something I wouldn't be celebrating. Like the other kid from Baltimore, Hawkins. Like he won off an injury. You didn't win because you was the better fighter than Darwin Price. And they celebrating these victories that they shouldn't be celebrating. I know you put all the miles in camp. You put all the, the bag work, the double in, the speed bag, the heavy bag, the pad work. You hit the miles, you do the push-ups, do the calisthenics, do the sit-ups. But shouldn't be proud of this. Right now, Gervonta Tank Davis is to the world exposed, but this is the reason they moving him slow. When a fighter is moved slow like this, it's because the handlers know that he not that good. That's the God's honest truth. When the guys move like this, it's because the handlers know there's weakness there. And the weakness that Gervonta Tank Davis got is that he not disciplined outside the ring. That's his biggest weakness. Not having a better right hand, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing how to use a jab, double jab, spear jab, up jab, or use his jab in a variety of ways and drop the jab to the body. Not putting 3 or 4 or 5 shots together. His biggest weakness is that his discipline outside the ring. His dedication. So you could be with Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? But that work ethic that Floyd got, Floyd Sr. instilled in him at a young age. No matter if it's you making $1 a fight or you making $100 million a fight, that work ethic is the same for Floyd. And Gervonta don't have that work ethic. He don't have that focus. This is a kid that's making millions at 25 years old, you know, and he gonna be distracted by everything. Mike Tyson was the same way. Got everything young and was distracted. But you know, Gamboa, he didn't really have no power on his punches though. What he did do, he was an old, veteran, savvy fighter. He knew how to smother. He knew how to hold. He knew how to tackle Tank when he got in trouble to box him more time. And that's what time and experience do for you as a fighter. All the sparring, all the fights over a course of time. That's what it do to you. Give you that experience. You know, if he had that experience when he was younger, you know, along with his skills, he'd have been a bad motherfucker. He was a bad motherfucker though at one point. But the younger Gamboa might have gave Tank. He probably would have whipped Tank. He probably definitely would have whipped Tank. And right now, at 25 years old, like AB was a better fighter than Tank. I thought it was the other way around. AB at 25 may be a better fighter than Tank, but the thing about Tank is you get back in the ring, you can put the bullshit behind you and do it though. But I'm telling you, dude, a lot of premier boxing champion fighters getting exposed, man. These dudes ain't that good. And this is why dudes don't cross the street. 25, 22, 32, 42, these dudes ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people need to understand this is why they're protecting their assets. You know what I'm saying? This is why they're not willing to let their little birdies fly free, because they'll get exposed. Marcus Brown got exposed this year. You know what I'm saying? There's probably some other guys that I can't even think of. This is why they match these dudes soft, and this is what matchmakers are for. Had this been somewhat of a threat near tonight, shit, had this been Richard Commey, man, this dude Tank could have been in serious trouble tonight. I believe that him and Richard Commey probably would have went the full distance, and he could have possibly lost that fight. Think about Teofimo Lopez, and Paulie Malignaggi was in his bag, and I'm going to end off with Paulie. Thing about Teofimo Lopez is that it seemed like he razor sharp and focused in training, and he take this shit serious. But Paulie was in his bag tonight. Paulie was saying Tank was tired, and obviously you had the foot malfunction with Gamboa, and they finally fixed that like a while into the fight. But you had the fact that, you know, Paulie was trying to rip. He wasn't trying to rip Tank, but he had to rip him. You know what I'm saying? He had to rip Tank. Tank out there, you know, out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Tired, throwing one punch at a time, thinking this is about to be a fight where you show up, knock the dude out. Even they had the press conference slated for 1 o'clock in the morning. That ain't gonna happen right now. They got to shower, interview, wash themselves. So you look at the press conference time, 1:32, 2 o'clock in the morning. Even Showtime thought this was gonna be a quick fight for Tank. You know, Paulie was calling it true. Tank not dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Tank too tired to put 2, 3, 4 shots in a row, and Tank just relying too much on the left hand. You know, and he said people compare when you look at two fighters from a network. They just see what Teofimo Lopez did versus a way more dangerous opponent in Richard Commey, and we look at Tank struggling with an old garbage disposal. You know what I'm saying? You know how people supposed to feel. If everybody that watches this, if you being objective, is thinking Teofimo Lopez is the baddest man in 135, other than Lomachenko. If you don't consider Devin Haney, but once again, Gervonta Tank Davis ain't ready for Lomachenko, man. I get it why they moving him slow now. You know, he got no discipline outside the ring, but it is what it is. But hey, shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis on a good note. He paid for the lady funeral who got murdered at her beauty supply or her beauty salon in Baltimore. So I'm going to end off on a good note. Congratulations, he won 12th round knockout. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Want to make a donation? The information in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Hit the subscribe button, bell icon button, comment one time for the one time. Good fellas.